children in a flooded basement, too young to understand what unsafe meant. Water rising like it had permission, because no one came down to say it should end. I remember laughter in the wrong conditions, like joy surviving where it shouldn't stay. And I know now that silence had a pattern of adults just somewhere else that day. Not monsters in the story I'm telling, just absence wearing different faces. Work, sleep, distance, anger, forgetting, in a house that raised us in unstable places. I don't say this to tear anything open that isn't already part of the past, but truth doesn't disappear just because we finally learn to ask. We were swimming where someone should have been watching, calling it childhood, calling it play. And I can hold love for you and still say that some things should never have been that way. But I'm not trying to burn it to ashes, I'm trying to name what actually was, because ignoring the flood doesn't dry it, it just leaves it alive in us. My brother was never what the story made him, too young to carry the weight of that name. He got handed the shape of the damage and told to grow into shame. And I watched how that label stayed on him like a shadow he couldn't outrun, while the truth was the system around him was already fractured before he had begun. I see my father in distance and silence, not evil but gone in the ways that stay. And my stepmother's storm, and the shifting between exhaustion, anger, and fading away. And somehow the children adapted, because adaptation is what we had. But none of us were meant to inherit what no one else ever held or had. I don't want blame as a place to live in, but I can't pretend it wasn't there, because pretending makes the silence heavier than the truth we learned to share. We were swimming where someone should have been watching, calling it childhood, calling it play. And I can hold love for you and still say that some things should never have been that way. And I'm not here to erase you from it or turn pain into something to throw, but I won't keep the version that says we were fine when we weren't, just so. And there's something I still can't fully name cleanly, a shadow that never settled into fact, just a fracture in memory's surface that I've never been able to put back. The sense that the water was deeper than it looked, that something may have slipped out of sight, a moment, a shape, a breath, a presence that never returned to the light. Maybe it's memory trying to protect itself, or maybe it's just what we missed. But it lives in the space between knowing and not knowing, like a question the day never fixed. And I don't turn that question into a weapon, I just let it exist as it is, because some things stayed unresolved forever, even if life continues to live. Now I look back without needing to destroy it, but I also won't soften the truth. We were raised in a weather of absence, where no one stood between us and proof. And I can forgive what was human and failing, while still naming the damage it made, because love without honesty isn't healing, it's just silence wearing a new face. We were without shame. Because truth isn't hatred, it's clarity. And clarity is how we change. I don't want the past to keep defining us, but I won't pretend it was fine. We were children in a flood that shouldn't have been, and we deserved more than time. And if there was a moment we missed in that water, something lost to the current that day, then it belongs to the truth we're still learning, not something we bury away. It's not about blame that never stops moving. It's about finally seeing what was, so nobody stays trapped in the roles they were given, just because no one paused. And if we carry anything forward from this, let it not be the flood or the pain. Let it be that we finally stopped breathing like we were still under